Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Bowling League's Dungeonbowl. We are in the final week of regulation in this competition, and in this season, we're going to get I think we already got week 9 underway, but we're going to have a fun one here up tonight here in this final week. We're going to have the Kenogami Chiefs versus Dead and Loving It, Zayas versus S. Beaver. We've got Black Orcs versus Vampires. I've had a blast watching Vampires for the first time in the league this season. I'm gonna really enjoy this one as well. Let's take a look at the standings real quick before we take a look at the two teams up this evening. Benville Baggins, by the way, thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome everyone to the stream this evening. Over in Division A, currently in first place is Odin and Snuffle. This is Clyphus' Norse team. They're 6-1-1, and they are currently the number 3 seed for the quarterfinals. They've made the cut. Also making the cut, the Gutterballs, coached by El Numerino. They're an Orc team. They're 5-3-0, and they're currently the number 5 seed. The NC Snakes in third. That's Moob's Dark Elf team. They have all but made the cut, currently the number 7 seed. And Conspicuous Disunion, if they can pull off a miracle tonight, they will dethrone someone. They are mathematically still in it, but it's not very likely. They need to win by a whole bunch of points in order to make the cut. That's Chime's Necro team. They're 4-2-2. SB Beaver says, how does Zeiss or myself make the playoffs? Currently in first place in Division B are the Believe Broncos, coached by BB Nut. They're a Nurgle team. They're 6-1-1, and they're currently the number 4 seed as it stands. They are followed by Technobabble Incorporated. That's my human team, 5-2-1, also making the cut, the number 8 seed in Division B. Everyone else in Division B has been eliminated at this point. And then, of course, over in Division C, in first place at the top of the leaderboard with the best record in the competition is Philosopher's Song, coached by Spire, a Lizardman team, 7-1-0. Naturally, the number 1 seed with a record like that. MAML Nightmare in second place. This is Festoon's Necro team, making the cut with 20 points. They are currently the number 2 seed, and the Discomancers in third. This is Ian's Necro team, also making the cut. They are the number 6 seed. So can we just say this game's worth 25 points? Proud Star, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. 3-stream streak. Thank you very much. I keep threatening to do something for the streaks. I haven't done it yet, but I will get to it at some point. Probably before next season. But thank you very much for the streak. Good to see you here, Proud Star. The home team up tonight will be the Kenogami Chiefs, coached by Zayas. They've got 12 on the roster. It looks like 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Minus Ned Braden, who will be out with an injury this week. That's going to bring their TV to 1,225,000 gold. They've got all 6 Black Orcs. They've got a trained troll and a bunch of Gobos, 1 apothecary, 1 dedicated fan, and 4 rerolls. BB says plus 10 points for the best cheerleader. Maybe. They're going to be up against the Vampires of Dead and Loving It, coached by S. Beaver. Also 12 on the roster. All will be starting this evening. Their TV is 1,220,000 gold. So what's that, 15,000 gold? So nothing happening in the inducement phase this evening. It's going to come down to the rosters. They have 2 blitzers, a runner, a thrower, and a whole slew of thralls. 5 dedicated fans, 5 rerolls. How are these two teams going to play tonight? We'll talk about the away team first. The Proud Star says I ran the whole season with no apothecary. I ran the whole season desperately needing mine. Dead and Loving It, the Vampire team. These fantastic pieces, right? Fantastic players in the Vampires. You can just look at this thrower and be a little disgusted, right? MA6 is decent. Strength 4 is great. Adds 2 is great. Strength 4 adds 2. Strength 4 adds 2. Insanity. They also, of course, have the pass skill being a thrower, and naturally as a vampire, they've got Hypno Gaze as well. Very, very, very strong player. The runner, great too, with an MA of 8, Edge of 2. I mean, we're talking War Dancer territory here with Colonel Chi. Also has Hypno Gaze. In fact, all 4 vampires will have Hypnotic Gaze. Block on all 4 vampires. The 2 vampire blitzers, their Bloodlust, instead of a 2+ is going to be a 3+, but otherwise they've got Jugger, they've got Tackle. 1 has Brawler, that's Caldo Vasco, the number 4 vampire blitzer, and of course Tackle on that vampire as well. The name of the game for the vampires, right, are to use those 4 fantastic pieces and score as much as you can while you can, because those thralls are only an AV of 8, and you need them in order to reliably activate the vampire blisters. The nega trait on these vampires is this bloodlust trait, and so for the runner and the thrower, every time they activate, they've got to roll a d6. They succeed on a 2+, the blitzers succeed on a 3+. If they fail that die roll, which they will, they're basically rolling a run. Think of it as an ogre team that you can kind of make reliable by murdering your own team, right? They've got to roll that die every single time they activate those vampires. The vampires are really good with their characteristics, as we just mentioned, but Hypnotic Gaze, also a fantastic skill as well. These vampires can pretty much get at any ball they want, no matter how that ball is caged up. That's not technically true, but very, very difficult to keep a ball caged up against a vampire team. The problem with the vampire team is that in order to do that, they've got to succeed that bloodlust roll. If they fail the bloodlust roll, then they need to end their activation next to a thrall. They bite the thrall. It is a straight injury roll. So they're going to be eating through their thralls as the game goes on. They also need to put those thralls into position to be where they want to be. So, which sort of betrays their future actions, right? So if you're trying to score, you're going to want to put a thrall by the end zone, because if you fail that bloodlust roll, you're not going to be able to score. So those two things combined are pretty bad, right? But then you throw on top of that the fact that your opponent wants to beat you up as well. And so the Kenogami Chiefs with these Blackworks, their goal tonight is to take those thralls out. You take the thralls out, you've removed the options for the vampires, right? Those vampires start failing those die rolls. They're just like an ogre team, right? So the goal for the Kenogami Chiefs, I think, is to use these 6 Blackworks with the strength of 4 and with grab. Grab is like sidestep, except the blocker decides where the block player will go. And Ajax the Riot, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. And use sort of a combination of skills, right? So they want to use that strength 4 to get the 2 die blocks on these thralls. If they can't get the thrall out of the game that way, grab that thrall, stick it between 2 Black Orcs or between 2 Kenogami Chiefs players, keep them pinned down so that they can't be used by the vampires, A, and B, you get to take a block on them next turn as well. If you do knock them down and you can't remove them from the pitch, that's what the goblins are there for. Use those goblins, go in for the foul, remove those thralls ASAP. If you can get the thralls off the pitch, the vampires collapse. There's nothing they can do. They become extremely unreliable. On this particular roster, they'd be down to only 4 players as well. And that's when you can start thinking about trying to win this game. I think that is the game plan for at least the first quarter or the first half for the Kenogami Chiefs. Nothing's going to happen in the inducement phase. So nothing to see, or no petty cash, so nothing to see in the inducement phase here for either of these teams. So it's going to come down to these rosters. And I think it comes down to those strength 4 grab pieces for I always have, I'm like, do I want to call it a piece or do I want to call it a player? I think I should call it a player, but my tabletop roots betray me. All right, enough yapping from me. Let's get this game underway. Week number 9, final week of regulation play here in season 5 of the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League. Player piece, yeah, that works. SB Beaver says, leave my thralls alone. I will take them out myself. Thank you very much. Bugman's beer. We saw Joseph Bugman take to the pitch last night. Vampires in the black and red. Blackworks in the black and brown. No inducement phase. We'll see who wins the coin toss. Festug says, good luck. Good luck to me? Why do I need good luck? Kenogami Chiefs win the coin toss. They will probably be on offense to start, I think. Tricky proposition. Well, maybe not that tricky, but by starting on offense, they're giving this vampire team the strongest defense they can to get in on that ball, snake it from the Black Orc team, and try to score on defense. Conversely, the Black Orc team, they're going to punch first. They're going to try to remove some thralls here on turn 1 and start getting that player advantage early. Oh, thank you, Vista. I appreciate it. Because your team dies this week. I hope you got your affairs in order. You have 3 days left. 3 on the line here for the defense. All 3 are thralls. The number 12 thrall, Thad Evans, the nose tackle with the broken arm. That's all right. You don't need an arm to get punched in the face. Then loving it in the 3-5-3 right now. They've got Frank Drebin, the thrower, back as the safety. We'll call that. Do we want to call that 5 linebackers? Let's call that 5 linebackers. 3 on the line for the offense. The big guy, Ogie Oglethorpe, the number 15 trained troll, has picked up the guard skill. Which is always useful on the line. Imagine 300, but we're going to skip the first fun 3-4 days and skip right to the end. A 2 back to receive for the Chiefs. No kicker on the roster for Dead and Loving. It is a blitz. Rolled a 2 on the D3. Ball kicked to the 14-yard line. And so it's going to be the defense who gets to fight first. Have to be careful with how you set up your blitzes, your blitz kickoff event, that is, because it's not a player turn, so you don't get your team rerolls. A mark on the right side against Killer Carlson. Here comes the blitz. 2-die blitz. Gets a push out of this. No more movement left with the blitzer. Caldo Vasco, the number 6 blitzer, now over in the right wide zone in Orc territory. And that'll be it. Turn 1 underway now for the Chiefs. First order of business is get some protection on the ball, then they'll try to block down the line and figure out where they want this blitz to be. Blitz almost certainly coming from Mo Wanchuk. Maybe not. I mean, Mo Wanchuk is the only one with the block skill. Could take it with the trained troll if he wants Mighty Blow as well, but that would come in a later turn as there's 3 already on the line. One minute, 5 seconds to go now for the Chiefs. What is on the back of the Goblin jerseys? Oh, it's their logo. From here, it looked like the Blood Bowl 2 icon. Blood Bowl 2 logo. Mark taking against Caldo Vasco over in the right wide zone. Here's the blitz. 2-die blitz. Gets a push. PBS says interesting to blitz the side of the ball isn't. Caldo Vasco, the number 6 blitzer, now pinned to the right sideline on the Orc 4-yard line. 3+ pickup works out. The ball's in the hands of player coach Reggie Dunlop, the number 1 rookie Goblin. Two-die block against Bob Franklin. Can fish for the POW here. That's how Brawler works. Brawler allows you to re-roll a single both down result, and you can use that to save a team re-roll, or if you get, say, a push and a both down, you can fish for the POW. And if you don't get it, that's fine. You get a push out of it instead. Using grab to keep the thrall beside this line. POW against Jim McKay. Breaks armor. Who has shadowing? Oh, Thad Evans. No armor break out of this. Kenogami Chiefs on the bonus clock. 7 minutes remaining. 2-dive lockdown with Ogie Oglethorpe. Gets the knockdown, looking for a 7+ with Mighty Blow. There it is, the first thrall removed from the game. One-man player advantage now for the Chiefs. Mighty Blow gives you a +1 to your armor or your injury roll, whichever of those 2 die rolls you need it for. If you don't need it for the armor break, which AV8, not a lot, you can use it for the injury roll instead. Dead and loving it on their first turn of the game. They're going to end this turn. Well, yeah, they're probably going to end this turn with a dodge by Caldo Vasco. 2-die block against McCracken. Got the POW here. Look for an 8+ on this poor old Gobbo. Gets a stun out of this. Goblins AV8 as well. And they are, with an MA of 6, the fastest players on the Black Orc roster. 55 seconds on the clock for Dead and Loving It. A whopping 5. There's 9 rerolls between these two teams. My goodness. Here comes the Blitz. 2-die Blitz. Gets a POW on Johnny Upton. Big 10+ to break armor. Oh, well done. Doesn't need to dodge away. Gets the 2-die block instead. It's going to knock down Killer Carlson and follows up to get off that sideline and prevent the surf. Well done. This seems like the perfect venue to talk about this, right? A game of Blood Bowl. This is the perfect venue to talk about this. Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon Crystal, I argue, is infinitely better than the original cartoon. A superior version. Right? I feel like the fans of Blood Bowl and Sailor Moon go hand in hand, right? Turn 2 for the Chiefs. 2-die block against the rookie Jim McKay the second. Gets a knockdown out of this. He's going to keep grabbing these thralls and keeping them beside these Black Orcs. Electric Smith says, I have no idea what you're talking about. 2-die block against Bob Franklin. This will be a POW here. Incident says, are you having a stroke? No. Sailor Moon Crystal is a better cartoon than the original Sailor Moon cartoon. Stand up 1-die against Caldo Vasco will be a push. Festing says I'm more of a Gundam fan myself. Oh, I love Gundam. In fact, Witch from Mercury is one of my favorites. Like, I really, really enjoyed Witch from Mercury. I prefer like the Universal Century stuff. But Witch from Mercury is really good. Kenogami Chiefs move the ball up their own 2-yard line just inside the left wide zone. Solid protection of the ball right now. Well, solid protection if these weren't vampires. But 2 of those vampires are all the way over in the right wide zone. Emerald Raider, welcome to the stream. Rooting for the defense. Dead and loving it on turn 2. Where are the vampires? Wait, was Colonel Chi removed? What am I missing? Why is Colonel Chi not on the pitch? Oh no. Oh no, the null turn doesn't work out. Turn 3 for the Chiefs. They're gonna have, I was gonna say a field day. I guess everybody has a field day in Blood Bowl, right? They're going to be able to move this ball very quickly. KH is marked. They're going to have to be a little careful about where they end up with the ball, but plenty of options here. He's hanging out where all the food goes. You think it was a mistake? Like Colonel Chi was not on the pitch, right? I would think you'd want all 4 vamps on the pitch. 2-die blitz against Father Mayhe. Got the POW. Looking for a 9+. Good armor break here to get rid of one of those vampires for a turn. Gets a stun out of this. This vampire will be out on turn 3 and half movement on turn 4. It costs 3 MA to stand up. Even though it's hard to remove, say, dwarves that have an MA of 4, knocking them down is very, very potent because you remove 75% of their speed by doing so. El Nubruna says, I might have said the vampire coach wanted to conserve some team rerolls, and then I was like, it's S. Beaver. 2-die block against Buddy Fox. This will be a push by Ogie Oglethorpe. And now 2-die against Bob Franklin will also be a push. These are the thralls that were a little bit forward of the ball on the right side. And now they're behind the ball. Pretty effectively marked out. Probably spends the brawler here. I don't know what else he wants to activate. Yeah, spent the brawler, got the push. I think if that would have been a turnover, he's probably okay. Woo! 3+, 2+, 2+ to get number 3 in position to protect the ball carrier. Zophiana, welcome to the stream. Zophiana says, all the non-human players for my OWA Noble team built. That's cool. Pips, Pippi. Pips! They haven't played their last game, right? Pips, Pippi play. A 1-die against Frank Drebin. Uses Brawler to try to get something out of this. Just gets a push. And grabs Frank Drebin back toward the sideline. Turn 3 now for Dead and Loving It. Now the Thralls running as fast as they can to get back into position. Reese Morgan back into the secondary. Here comes Lewis Strauss trying to get ahead of that ball. Minute 26 on the clock. There's that failed bloodlust roll. So now Frank Drebin II has to end next to a throw, or else it'll be a turnover. And Frank Drebin will also lose his tackle zones. Ending next to Lewis Strauss, this is going to be an injury roll. There's no armor roll, just a straight injury roll to Lewis Strauss. And this is why Vampire teams get weaker and weaker as the game goes on. Ooh! Chose the turnover instead. So he elected not to bite Lewis Strauss and keep the drive alive. Just got into position, said, no, I'm not going to bite anybody. Frank Drebin lost his tackle zones. And that is a turnover. So trying to keep a throw on the pitch, giving up the touchdown effectively, I think maybe not a bad play. Not a bad idea, all things considered. If you don't choose a standard activation, you fail your Bloodlust roll, you are allowed to change your mind and elect to do a standard activation instead. Remember, the blitzers here in yellow, their Bloodlust succeeds on a 3+, not on a 2+. Solid offense here for the Chiefs. They take their first block of the turn. It's going to be a knockdown on Buddy Fox, the dirty player. Gets a stun out of this. Mighty blow against 88 is super scary, right? Bringing that down to 87. Like we're not talking about a linear increase. There's sort of a bell curve if you think of the number of ways you can roll a certain number. And so going from 6 to 7 to 7 to 8 to 8 to 9, these are huge changes. Kenogami Chiefs on the bonus clock as they go to foul one of the Vamps. Got an injury out of it. Wow! He's going to get called off the pitch, but that's a great trade. Regen did not kick in. Argued the call. So went for the foul on the vampire blitzer that worked out, argued the call with the ref. The ref was having none of it. And then the Blackrock team used their bribery and corruption to convince the ref that, you know what? All right, fine. Zayas, you can stay in the game. You're not ejected. But that player still is. Bob Rob, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Shameston says regen fake skill. Hypnogaze on Dave Hansen, the number 10 Black Orc. So the way Hypnotic Gaze works is if you succeed that die roll, the opposing player that you hypnotized becomes confused. They lose their tackle zones, and until they activate on a future turn. And so this is an easy way to just sort of casually waltz through protection. Here we go, 2-die blitz. I think he might take them both down. I don't know. I think he's going to take them both down. We'll see. He could re-roll it. He is going to re-roll it. Re-rolled it into a push, unfortunately. Bob Rob says Blodge is also fake. Yeah, it's just that easy when you've got Hypnogaze. In fact, if you've got a tight 4-point cage, just a couple of Hypnogazes and now you've got dice on the ball. Easy dice on the ball. It's real hard to keep that ball protected against a full-up vampire team. Spent a reroll. Spent a reroll here on the uphill block against Ogie Oglethorpe, and that's going to work out. Break armor could be dangerous here with 2 injuries on the troll, but couldn't do it. Wow. Dead and loving it down to 2 rerolls for the half. .50-50 dodge fails by Jim McKay. The second stays on the pitch. Second quarter begins. Turn 5 for the Chiefs. Black Wolf says SP Beaver pulling out all the stops. Yes, indeed. Well, I mean, I guess that is a stop. Takes a mark on Frank Drebin. Takes a mark on Reese Morgan. The 2-die on Reese Morgan will be a push. Bob Rob says, I can't see the Blackworks being able to stall anymore. Yeah, I think they're going to try to put this ball in the end zone here. Going for the 1-die blitz against Lewis Strauss. That's not going to work. Spends the reroll, just needs a push, and got the skull. No! Jimmer, no! The cost of heroism is your life. R.I.P. Little Gobbo. Came in for the 1-die, got nothing out of it, spent the reroll into a skull. And the blitzer died for his trouble. And now the vampire team injures Reggie Dunlop, the ball carrier. The oppo is going to be spent. The apothecary saves his life. He's coming off the pitch. Will the ball stay on the pitch? It does. The ball, wow, the ball now on the vampire 20-yard line. And now the vampire team has an opportunity to try to snake this ball and score. Festing says this last week is having some crazy moments happening. Yes, indeed. I hope one of those crazy moments is finally putting a stop to the pestilence and disease of the evil Nurgle team. Either that or kill one of my players so they can play on the team and then win so I can claim to be a winner. Pass declared, 2+ pickup. Fails the pickup, will spend a reroll. Here's the pass. 50-50 pass. Here's the interception attempt by Mo Wan Chuck. Failed the interception. Now needs to succeed on the catch. Will he spend the final reroll? May as well. Well done by Frank Drebin to get the ball down to the number 10 lineman, David Everett. And now he takes off toward the end zone. Very well played. Surprised he went in and took the mark. Did he need the distance there? Festive says, you got this. Just remember your hand sanitizer and Febreze. Caldo Vasco feeding on a thrall after the failed bloodlust roll, and that's another removed thrall. That thrall KO'd. May come back in a future drive. Turn 6 now for the Chiefs. They're on offense. They had an opportunity to score, tried to stall for another turn, failed to stall, and now they're in danger of giving up the ball here. Or at least giving up the touchdown, I should say. 1-die against Frank Drebin will be a push. Bob Ross says, was throwing next to the Blackwork the best play? I wouldn't. I am not the best Blood Bowl player, so take this with a grain of salt. But I wouldn't have done it. But you've also got to consider the time on the clock and where the opponent is and how many rerolls are left. Frank was so good he was featured in yesterday's game. That's right. Speak Beaver says, do not confuse what I do with what is the best play. Dude, I block against Buddy Fox, gets a push out of this. Hey man, it works, it works. Another thrall removed on a KO. Blitz on the vamp. One die blitz. That's not going to cut it. A reroll will be spent. And that's going to be a push. Ninja Gloppy, welcome to the stream. One die block against Frank Drebin will get the knockdown this time. Really wants that 9+. He looks like Steve Buscemi. Doesn't get the armor break. Turn 6 now for Dead and Loving It. First order of business will be to move this ball downfield. There he goes. David Everett. Down on the 18-yard line. With only Killer Carlson threatening. He might try to rush here, actually, to avoid the cheeky blitz. But he doesn't have any rerolls left, so... Can he actually get here? No. Can't pin Killer Carlson. Takes the 2-die blitz against McCracken. Just gets a push out of this. McCracken will probably sidestep. I was going to say sidestep backwards, but he's going to sidestep to the side. Right side instead. Steve Buscemi is playing for the Gutter Balls this season. Ninja Galactic says there needs to be a team of just all the creepy looking Hollywood actors. I mean, the Gutter Balls have a number of actors from a particular movie. Rushes for the 2-die against Killer Carlson. Got the knockdown. That'll do it. Very well done by the Dead and Loving It. They'll be able to get on the board on turn 7 with a stun. Maybe even on turn 8 instead. El Nubrina says, is McCracken a monograph like McLovin, or is his first name something more boring like Phil? I have no idea. Dude, uphill here is going to be a both down result, so I'd take it. I'd be okay with that. I don't know. I don't know if I'd take it with a thrall. I need those thralls. Turn 7 for the Chiefs. The troll Ogie Oglethorpe fails the really stupid roll. Don't worry, Ogie. I think you're great. I think you're brilliant. I failed my really stupid roll today. Felt like an idiot. Being able to smell wood burning, that means I'm having a stroke, right? One die blitz. Gets the knockdown here on Caldo Vasco. What did I do? I like to imagine Electric Man says that as, what did you do? Ninja Coffee says, do you taste copper? If so, stop eating pennies, man. Somebody somewhere in the neighborhood in the wintertime has like a wood fireplace and it just smells like a forest fire every winter. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. These removals, man. So 2 of the 4 vampires out for the game. Turn 7 for Dead and Loving It. First order of business is to get on the board. Let's see, can anybody get there? Nobody can get there. He'll stall this out till turn 8. Second order of business is how to stop the score in the second half. Ninja Glappy says, I love the smell of wood burner stoves. I don't. Bob Rob says, bet these Blackworks are wishing they had the new SPP rules for this game. What are the new SPP? I haven't read the rule book yet. What are the new SPP rules that you're referring to? Ninja Gloppy says that it's perfectly valid in you being wrong. Tried to dodge away a thrall. Didn't work out. Turn 8 for the Chiefs. Nobody can get to the ball carrier. Ball carrier is totally safe. But man, they're going to continue to try to remove some of these thralls. Why move to... Why... I'm not sure why Jeff Hansen's moving towards the ball carrier, but that's okay. Maybe he's moving to safety. Festoon says gets 3... Oh, right, the specific team rules. Right, they get... certain teams get 3 SPP for casualties instead of 2, and then 2 they flip them on the touchdown. Badlands Brawl, thank you. There's a KO. I mean, even though it's a KO, right, with all these KOs, certainly some of them are going to stick. So great work here by Zayas, pivoting here and says, you know what? All right, well done. You're going to get on the board. That's fine. I'm going to remove every opportunity you have for the next half. SB Beaver says, who needs thralls? We'll spend the reroll here. There's no reason not to. He gets the knockdown. Looking to remove Lewis Strauss on an 8+. Why the push? That might have been a misclick. I'm not sure why that was a push. You know what I haven't had in like 6 months? Cereal. Just regular cereal. Bob Rod said, did he forget he had block? Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it was just a misclick. Dead Loving It, getting on the board on turn 8. They're going to be on defense to start the second half. It's going to be very interesting to see who comes back on the KO rolls. Remember, it's a 4+ per KO roll. So Odds gets 2 thralls back. He'll take anything he can get. Because he's going to be up against 9v7. So a 2-man player advantage. Not as bad as I thought it was, honestly. So 2 vampires on the roster are taken to the pitch and 5 thralls. Bob Rob says, I've been dealing with a lot of misclicks due to the floating controls with my controller. Try to press a POW and things change as I press X to a reroll. Floating controls. What do you mean? Kenogami Chiefs on defense trying to screen out the vampires. Oh, I see. I see. You said floating, and I'm thinking of like the UI control, like a floating button, and I'm like, where's that happening? All right, so the Chiefs screening out the vampires with the 3-4-2, and now Dead and loving it to set up their offense with just 7. Again, a 2-man player advantage for the Blackhawks, 9v7 on the pitch. All right, here's the kick. I wonder how that Conspicuous Union game's going. If Conspicuous... Oh, it's a timeout. So we're going to have a 7-turn half. Turn 10 for Dead and Loving It as the ball kicked to the 14-yard line over in the right wide zone. If Conspicuous Disunion's up like 5-0, I'm going to lose my mind. Shamestone said, this is definitely going to be a real half of Blood Bowl. 2+ pickup works out. The ball in the hands of Colonel G. This is the Vampire runner with an MA of 8. Still a bloodlust of 2+. Two-die blitz on the right defensive end. Gets the knockdown. Dave Hansen knocked to the ground. Probably not going to follow up here. Broke armor. Wow. Got the removal. And now down to a 1-man player advantage for the Chiefs. 8v7 on the pitch. Today Monday or Tuesday? What is today? Let me see. Today is unfortunately Monday. It's Monday, Monday. Gotta go work on Monday. Want to stab myself in the eyeball, eyeball. It's no, not, I'm just kidding. Works fine. Two-die blitz by Ogie Oglethorpe. This will be a push against Caldo Vasco. I think that's what I'm going to have for dinner. I think I'm going to have cereal. Because I'm an adult. Two-die against Caldo Vasco will fish for the POW here with Brawler. Doesn't get it. It'll be a push instead. And grabs Caldo Vasco back toward number 9. So trying to lock down one of the 2 remaining vampires on the pitch. Well, I'll say this. With just one effective vampire right now, you've got plenty of thralls. Will it have a toy in the box? No. It will be Honey Bunches of Oats, which masquerades as like an adult cereal, right? But it's just as sugary as like Lucky Charms or something. It's the same thing. Dead and Loving It now up against columns over in the right wide zone here. So that's the tackle zones. And the reason you set up these columns is, let's say you go in on the blitz, you knock down this player. Well, the tackle zones still look like, whoops. Tackle zones still look like this, right? So they still end up like this. So you're still protecting the wide zone there and preventing the opponent from getting through without a dodge. Electric Man says sugar bunches of oats. That's pretty much what they are. Bob Ross. Bob Ross says, oh, I missed the removal of the other vamp. Yeah. Caldo Vasco stands up. Hypnogazes Mo Wan Chuck. And now going to blitz the column on the left side here to get a push. We'll have to follow up or step aside here. Ooh, looking for the knockdown. Needs an 8+ to break armor. So a good way to topple this column here by using Hypnotic Gaze against Woban Chuck, going in for the 2-die blitz against Reggie Dunlop. And now a lane has opened up right here. The Thrall's like, wait for me! Wait for me! I'll protect you. Fail the rush test. Somebody tell S. Beaver. Yeah, come on. Why'd you re-roll it? Somebody tell S. Beaver what the odds of failing a rush is, please. 900%. 1 in 6 equals 9. If you try to rush, you've just failed 9 rushes. It just works that way. Dude, I guess Caldo Vasco, this will be a POW. Johnny Upton will probably block Caldo Vasco, out of the drive. Nobody lowered the failure rate. Yeah, nobody lowered the rush failure rate to cheater levels. Oh, you know what I actually want? I want Royal Farms fried chicken. That's what I want. Takes the mark of the ball carrier. Festoon lowered the rush failure rate from 900% to a piddly 99%. Bob Rob says, I've never seen a single rush GFI work a single time of over 10 years of Blood Bowl. That's right. If you're new to the game of Blood Bowl, rushes used to be called going for it, or a GFI. And before that, fun fact, in 2nd edition, when it was introduced, it was called it was creatively called moving extra squares. The old MES. Tonight block against Buddy Fox is going to be a both down result, I think. He is going to spend the reroll. Got through the loner roll, gets a POW looking for the 7+. There's the armor break. Gets a stun out of it. Blitz still on the table. There's the 1-die block against Lewis Strauss to clear Killer Carlson, who's going to come in on the 2-die against Colonel Chi. Colonel Chi does have the block skill, so the both down results won't work on Colonel Chi. Here we go. 2-die blitz. Gets a push. Will he re-roll this? Just going to take the push. That was a rush blitz too. These Black Orcs, just an MA of 4. Turn 12 now for Dead and Loving It. So Coldo Vasco kind of out of the drive there, but it's just a 2+ dodge away. So it would be 4, 5, 6. Can't quite get there. Cobblestorm says snow for it, Triify. GFI had the best variants. Two+ dodge, no problem for Colonel Chi, and now Dead and loving it, threatening to increase their lead 2-0. What did I just say? What did I just say, S-Beaver? One more rush. 2 more rushes to get out of range of anybody who can take that ball carrier down. And now the Kenogami Chiefs are going to have to rely on a mark against an Edge 2 player to stop this score. Turn 12 for the Chiefs. Deciding to do the 2+ dodge to double rushes to get to safety. And now a 2-die against Jim McKay the second. Is that's the only one who can get in range, right? Yeah, that was the only player that could get in range on the ball carrier. So Killer Carlson took the block and said, nobody's going to be able to mark this ball carrier. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. S-Beaver might just hang out on the 24-yard line on this upcoming turn. David Everett removed from the pitch. That's another thrall removed. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he can get away. Player coach Reggie Dunlop will stand up, try to, I guess, force the ball in. Not a whole lot that can be done at this point, really. Three-die blitz by Ogie Oglethorpe. Just gets a push out of it. Well, actually, you know what? I might take the boat down at this point. Take the boat down with AV 10+. Sure, you're injured twice. But what are the odds? Fourth quarter begins. Dead and Loving in the lead, 1-0. They're knocking on the door of a 2-0 ball game with 2 rerolls remaining. Kenogami Chiefs with 2 rerolls remaining as well. You know what, actually? You know what? I think Zayas is showing complete faith in Nuffle. Yeah, complete faith in Nuffle on a failed bloodless roll by Colonel Chi. That's what I think this is. If you have enough faith, it will happen. Maybe. Took the blitz, failed the bloodlust roll, and decided to keep the drive alive here to not lose the ball. Oh, it's going to just march it in and take the, increase the lead. Well done by Dead and Loving It. They're now up 2-0. How do you see out of that? What a weird thing. You protect everything except, like, the delicate parts of your face. Forehead, Totally protected. Nose, cheekbones, mouth, teeth. No protection for that. 8 on the defense. 9 for the offense. 1-man player advantage for the Chiefs as they're down 2 touchdowns with just a quarter to play. Both teams hanging on to 2 rerolls. Yeah, I want chicken. That's what I want. But I don't even like juicy chicken. I like dry chicken that's like sat under a heat lamp for 4 hours. That's what I like. Here's the kick for the Kenogami Chiefs. The Vampires giving up those sidelines, giving up most of the wide zones, in fact. And now the defense gets to reset here with anyone who is unmarked. With the onside kick, I wonder if they're going to. This is the final game of the season for both these coaches, so really no reason to keep anyone alive. Yeah, that's right. It's called gift subs. It's called put money in my bank account, please. Yeah, I like dried chicken. I don't just like dry. I prefer dry chicken. Dead loving it. Moving players backwards, shifting them to the left. Dry ass chicken subs. I mean, put some mayonnaise on it, some lettuce, some onions, baby. That sounds great. Yeah, I don't know why anyone eats pretzels. Like, I don't understand, unless it's a soft pretzel. I don't understand the fascination. Two-die block on the right side against Jim McKay the second. Breaks armor, gets a removal. Well done. Now, the Vampires down to 7 on their roster. 2-man player advantage now for the Chiefs. Ninja Gloppy says it's the salt based on the type of pretzel and then the addition of cheese. Like, cheese is great. But like normal, like hard pretzels, I don't see the fascination. Yeah, that's right. They're made with real honey, so it's totally healthy. I had a bottle of honey that had an expiration date. I couldn't figure that out. Like, what do you mean it has an expiration date? It's honey. I'm not going to say it again. I'm not going to say how many times rushes fail. Is that so? The plastic expires? It has a buy more date. Final reroll spin here on the handoff to McCracken, and now the Chiefs have the ball on their own 4-yard line. I appreciate the effort trying to throw the Goblin downfield. So if you're unfamiliar, if a player has the right stuff as Goblins do, and you have a player with throw teammate, the player with throw teammate can pick up a player with the right stuff and throw them as your pass action. You can only go up to a quick pass, a short pass away. So orthogonally, that would be 6 spaces. Here's your short pass. Diagonally, that'd be 2 spaces. And so there's like a circle here, if you can imagine. So that's the distance you can throw them. It is the most risky action you can take in the game of Blood Bowl, but it's great, right? Because if you throw a teammate with the ball and they land on their feet and they haven't activated yet, they still get to activate. So it's a great way to get a player some extra space. You also don't have to throw a player with the ball. You can throw a player who doesn't have the ball and use them as a projectile against the opponent. Ninja Gloppy says, I want to create a product just to have a buy more date. Microplastics are delicious when they're covered in honey. Bloodless roll fails here by the right safety, Caldo Vasco. It's going to stick with the blitz. 2-die blitz against McCracken will be a POW. Is he next to a thrall? He is. We'll see if he keeps the driver alive or not. He might just take the blitz, lose his tackle zones. Ball's going to get knocked out to the 4-yard line. Barking because they heard a beautiful voice. They're trying to inform their owners. There's a beautiful singer over yonder. Another thrall removed here. But that's all right. Dead and Loving It has done their job, right? At this point in the game, as a vampire team, if you're up 2-0, you've done your work. Third 14 now for the Chiefs. Lassie thought to be fell in the well again. Welcome to the stream, Cease. Two-die block against Caldo Vasco. Gets the POW here. Breaks armor. Got rid of another vampire. Just one vamp left on the pitch. KO means he's safe. It does. He gets to retire in peace. Troll moves downfield and marks Lewis Strauss. Blitz still available. Two-die block against Alan Green. He's going to have to spend Brawler here. Doesn't have a reroll left, and it will be a push. What? Maybe another misclick here. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I have misclicked many a time. Failed rush, S-Beaver. Look. Look. I'm not even... No. You know better than that. Turn 15 for the Chiefs. 900%, that's right. You can only be warned so much. Electric Man says, I used to play on console and misclick constantly. If I remember, I don't know if it's still this way, but I remember testing out the League on console. It's not like a mouse that you move around, right? Like it's actually mapped to like buttons and arrow keys. You know what I mean? Like it's not a cursor that you're moving around. Two-die blitz. Gets the knockdown. No armor break here for the Chiefs. Chiefs, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to need to take one more rush here if they want to get on the board. Oh, didn't take the rush. I guess they could still throw with the troll. Rushes, man. Look. 9-0-0. Turn 16. Final turn for Dead and Loving It this season. They're going to go in on a blitz on McCracken. They just get a push out of this. McCracken will sidestep into scoring position. The Kenogami Chiefs now able to get on the board with 2 rushes. Currently a dodge to 2 rushes. A mark taken ahead of the ball carrier to try to stop a score. Two more rushes here by Allen Green, forcing McCracken to have to go down the sideline. Hank the Ranger says, can you go over the standings after the game? Ava, I'm not in the league, but I want to know who's fighting for those wild card spots. Yes, I can. It is probably set at this point. It's going to depend on how the Conspicuous Disunion game went, but we'll go over it after this game for sure. All right. Final turn for the Kenogami Chiefs. Can they end it with a touchdown? McCracken needs a number of dodges and 2 rushes to score as it stands. If they can get a good blitz on Lewis Strauss, if they can leave this to the rushes. David Everett off the ball carrier. Hank the Ranger says, other game tonight was delayed until tomorrow. Oh, so we'll actually get to watch it. All right. 2-die by Mo Wan Chuck. We'll get the push here. He'll stay put. He'll push him off the ball carrier. Well, he can follow up. That's fine. And now it's going to be a 3+ dodge to 2 rushes. 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus. With a free reroll on the dodge. There's the dodge. Whoa. Okay. The dramatic pause. Oh, man. Oh, I love the pause. I was like, here we go, baby. Watch this. Oh man. Oh, that's gonna do it. Dead loving it. It's gonna win their final game of the season, 2-0. Congratulations to S Beaver, and my thanks to both S Beaver and Zayas for playing this season. It's been a lot of fun watching both of these teams and both these coaches play. Hope to see them back for season 6. Thank you very, very much for taking time out of your week, every single week, to play this super fun game. You guys are excellent sports and a lot of fun to play against. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. All right, let's take a look at the standings before we leave for the evening. Oh, we'll do, Zayas, we'll do. Oh yeah, let me pay out the predictions right now. There, congratulations to the winners. Over in Division A, the way this is shaping up right now is Odin and Snuffle, coached by Clypheus, a Norse team. They have made the cut. They are currently the number 3 seed. If you're unfamiliar with how the seeding works in the quarterfinals, after week 9, the teams will be paired up by seed. So the number 1 seed will face off against the number 8 seed. The number 4 seed will face off against the number 5 seed. The I lost my train of thought. The number 3 seed will be against the number 6 seed, and the number 2 seed against the number 7 seed. In that order, if you imagine the bracket from top to bottom. So Odin and Snuffles made the cut. The top 2 teams from each division are automatically make the cut, and then the 2 best teams besides will make the cut as well. So after you take out the top 2 teams from the 3 divisions, you take the remaining 8 teams from all 3 divisions, you smush them all together, and then the 2 best teams out of those 24 get those final 2 spots. Odin Snuffle has already made the cut. They're currently the number 3 seed with 19 points and a plus 15 TD differential. The Gutterballs in second place is El Negrito's Orc team. They too have made the cut. They are currently the number 5 seed. Of course, both teams have one more game to play here in this week. The NC Snakes, the 13 of 22. The NC Snakes, Moob's Dark Elf team, they have all but made the cut. They're currently the number 7 seed. It's going to be really, really difficult to dethrone them. And then Conspicuous Disunion in 4th place. This is Chime's Necro team. They are all but eliminated. They're still mathematically in this, but something miraculous would need to happen. The NC Snakes would need to lose by 3. Conspicuous Disunion would need to win by 4. Not even by 4. It would have to be like Snakes losing 0-3, Conspicuous Disunion winning 4-0 or something. It's tough, but it could happen. They're still in it. Over in Division, yeah, they tied. Over in Division B, it's much more clear cut. In first place are the Believe Broncos, coached by BB Nut. They're a Nurgle team. They're 6-1-1, and they are currently the number 4 seed. They've made the cut. Also making the cut are Technobabble Inc. That is my human team. They're 5-2-1. They are currently the number 8 seed. Everyone else in Division B has been eliminated, unfortunately. And then over in Division C, at the top of the leaderboard is Philosopher's Song, coached by Spire. They're a Lizard team. They have the best record this competition with 7-1-0, and that puts them at the number 1 seed, making the cut. Also making the cut, MAML Nightmare, coached by Festoon after their win this week. They're 6-2-1. That puts them at 20 points. They are currently the number 2 seed. The Discomancers in 3rd. They also make the cut. They are Ian's Necro team. They're 6-0-2, and they are the number 6 seed. So it comes down to just these final 2 teams in Division A. The NC Stakes and Conspicuous Disunion. It's very likely to be the NC Stakes, but boy, we've seen miracles happen before. Conspicuous Disunion might be able to pull something off. We'll see if they can. Apparently tomorrow. So let's look at the schedule before we leave for the evening. I'm looking to see when it was rescheduled. I don't see the rescheduling. I don't see the rescheduling. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. I think he needs to win by. I think he needs to win by 4. Yeah. All right, I guess it's been rescheduled. I don't see where it's been rescheduled in Discord. I'll figure it out. All right, coming up next, it looks like we're gonna have a game tomorrow night. Apparently, it's going to be the Conspicuous Disunion versus Entanglements game. It will be Chime versus Conkill. That is Necro versus Imps, I think. And then on Thursday, January 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's UTC -5. We're going to have the Dream of Wish Foundation versus the Houndsmith Huntresses. Current league champion Nick Satan and his Halflings versus Houndot and their Amazons. Plenty of more games left to be scheduled this week. And when those games get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's MAML.CLUB, here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. In fact, you can even hang out in our Discord. I'll put a link in chat right now. You can come hang out in our Discord. You can talk shop. You can ask to be put on the reminder list to sign up for next competition. You can either wait until registration opens, in which instructions will be listed in the MAML announcements channel, or you can just hit me up, say, hey, Ava, you did too. I'd like to sign up for the next competition. I'll put you on the reminder list. When registration opens, I'll shoot you a message with instructions on how to register. It's really easy to do. You can also check out our schedule and our standings. They have dedicated channels over on our Discord channel, and the schedule is in your local time zone, so you don't have to do any funny math to figure out when the next game is going to be. And you can watch previous games on our YouTube channel. You gotta play Blood Bowl, man. This game is an absolute blast. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation and Xbox, and a tabletop forum at your friendly local game store. Until tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m., I think. EST, so again, UTC -5. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out tonight. We'll see you here tomorrow night. Have a good evening.